Hello all, my name is Ramkrishna Misra. On behalf of KramfoTech, today I am bringing Akshay Gidwani. Akshay Gidwani is one of the brilliant students of BITS Pilani Dubai Campus. He admitted in BITS in 2014. Then after finishing his undergraduate study, he went for his specialized course in mechanical engineering from NTU Singapore. He did 2 years master's program there. So Akshay Gidwani in 2014, when he was coming to the BITS Pilani, during that time he has an options to join computer science branch as well. But what was the reasons to go for mechanical engineering branch? He given a lot of insight about himself. Even during that time, his parents were also suggesting computer science branch, because nowadays everyone knows the computer science is one of the top preferred branches. Okay, but Akshay was very solid with his decisions. He was very determined, and he opted mechanical engineering branch. Then he did so many extracurricular activities during his college. So let's start his interview with Akshay. Sir,
Hello, sir. How are you?
all going good. You say how you are spending time nowadays? I think, yeah, I know you might be busy in so many work. So what is your day-to-day activities?
Yeah. So right now, currently, I'm interning with Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
interning with their research and development department.
Hmm.
So I have actually been working in their 3D printing division.
Oh,
So I've
3D
come up
printing.
with,
Hmm.
yes. So
3D
I've
printing.
come up with some new algorithms for them,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
So this is a first time thing, and we're going to be publishing a research paper on the same.
Super.
So
Hmm.
yes,
So I
yeah.
think
So
publishing the research paper while you are working in the real time, corporate like the Deva Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, which is managing whole Dubai very well. I think working on
yeah.
the real time words, definitely you are going to be high cited. I think high impact factor papers. What I'm guessing.
God's grace, your blessings. Yeah.
Okay, so Akshay, I know you are the mechanical engineer. So tell me about your school life. I see 95% plus in your 12th exams. And what was the reasons to go for mechanical engineering branch? Even I think in 2014, when you started your engineering, even during that time as well, the computer science was in the top preferred branch. But why you selected differently from others?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was doing my schooling,
Hmm.
basically, most of my schooling, I was born and brought up here in the UAE.
Yeah.
So I'm Indian by descent, but
Hmm.
I've been born here.
Hmm.
So when I was doing my schooling, when I was finishing my schooling,
Hmm.
that time I was very interested in particular in science. I knew
Hmm.
that I was interested in science.
Hmm.
What I wanted to do, I was not sure that time.
Hmm.
And I was very interested in physics.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
but a lot of the results which came out, my
Hmm.
best results were in computer science.
Ah,
So
okay.
my interest was here, and my results were also coming a little different to that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So what I was interested in doing was I was keen on understanding. So I had two choices, or
Hmm.
rather, I would say three choices.
Hmm.
I wanted to choose between mechanical, electrical, and computer science.
Hmm.
And what happened was my dad was first suggesting computer science.
Hmm.
So that time, of course, I had a different view. So
Hmm.
I mentioned that I'm thinking of mechanical engineering.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is
Hmm.
um, I wanted to understand how the end to end process of
Hmm.
conceptualizing, ideation, um, to the problem solving,
Hmm.
to the result.
Hmm.
Understanding the whole process was something what I wanted. And I felt that this was a preconceived notion in school, since, and I'm not saying that's right, but there was a preconceived notion that computer scientists just sit and code. This was what the people in school used to feel.
Yes, yes, true.
So, so when I came out of school, I thought that, I'm being a coder myself, I'm very interested in coding, but I thought I want to have a bit of a macroscopic view to a problem as well. So I want to understand why are we looking to solve a problem, how we go about solving the problem, then coming to the coding part of it, and then moving on to the application of that problem and the results of that. So that was one reason why I took mechanical engineering, because actually mechanical engineering is in itself a very broad degree.
Very
So
broad.
in that you have fluid mechanics, you have static analysis, you have dynamics, you have machines, you have machine design, you have so many areas, control systems. So you have so many areas in mechanical engineering itself
Yeah.
that I thought I wanted to take something which is broad, something where I have an exposure to different areas in that.
Okay.
And eventually, I ended up touching upon computer science areas also, like neural networks and fuzzy logic. So eventually, I started moving into different areas in mechanical,
Yeah, this is the
and then
best
branching out.
thing. Yeah, because especially in the BITS Pilani, you have the so many elective options. So whether you are in mechanical engineering branch, you can select those courses as well, and you can as
Yeah,
as expert as like computer scientist. So that's what here the one of the best options is there. Okay, so
that's
what was the factors to deciding the BITS Pilani? Even the especially the students who are in UAE, they used to target themselves either in US universities or in Canadian university, Australia, and Europe, Singapore, so many. So for undergrad, what was the reasons to join BITS Dubai?
true.
Hmm.
Okay. So, firstly, when I was doing my applications, I applied to basically UK and Singapore. And
Mm-hmm.
the interesting part was in Singapore, I applied to NUS and NTU, and I got rejected
Oh,
because the criteria for that was we needed a aggregate of around 98.7 minimum in boards. When I say
oh,
aggregate, the whole average of all your results together.
oh. Hmm.
So that was a little excessive, I would say,
Hmm.
because on the day of the board exams, you don't know
Hmm.
what anything can happen. It's that one day, and
Exactly.
it's all depends.
Hmm.
So anyway, so that did not work out.
Hmm.
NTU was my dream college that time also, but I
Hmm.
didn't get it.
Hmm.
So then after that, I decided to apply to UK. So
Hmm.
UK, I applied to Southampton, Surrey,
Hmm.
Kingston, and Sheffield.
Hmm.
Um, in in Kingston, I applied to two,
Hmm.
aerospace and mechanical,
Okay.
and I got acceptance to all of them.
Okay. Great. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then after that, what happened was
Hmm.
I realized that I felt
Hmm.
deep down that I was not emotionally ready to leave.
Okay.
I knew
Yeah.
that I had got these acceptances,
Yeah.
but I felt I was not. I mean, this was a very personal thing. I felt I was not ready to leave home and
Yeah.
go at this
Hmm.
point of time.
Hmm.
And that was a very big factor that
Hmm.
time. I
Hmm.
mean, I thought it would be a very small thing, but it
Hmm.
actually became a very big factor.
Hmm.
So then that time I decided that among the colleges here,
Hmm.
uh, which were the ones I'm interested in. And I thought BITS Pilani was a very good option because
Hmm.
one thing that really attracted me to it was the PS program, because I felt that no, there's a lot of gap between what colleges are doing and what industry is offering.
Bro.
So this is something I wanted to see which college gives that experience with industry as well. So
Hmm.
that was a very important thing for me.
Hmm.
The second thing is mechanical engineering has a very in BITS Pilani, even in the Pilani campus, the
Ah,
mechanical engineering degree is considered to be one of the main degrees there.
true. True.
So this was something I knew that BITS was good at. It was good at mechanical, so I knew that from before itself.
Hmm.
So I had mechanical, and
Hmm.
I had computer science, and I had electrical in my mind. So
Hmm.
these three I had in my mind,
Hmm.
and I chose immediately that electrical I may not take
Hmm.
because I had it very clear. I was like, I
Yeah.
want to have a general, all-rounded approach going down to a specific going from top to bottom.
Yes.
So I had mechanical and computer science in my mind, and then I chose mechanical. And I thought that I will take electives in computer science. So I
Okay.
have a whole approach to all the areas of mechanical, and I can understand the computer science aspects of that as well. So this is how I slowly got clarity, and that's why I took mechanical engineering in BITS.
Okay, nice. So tell me about the 4 year of life at BITS Pilani. How did you manage? What are the clubs you have been involved? What are the applications you developed? How many hackathons you attended? Because I think you was one of the most active students in this 4 year of I can see your activities, prizes, so many things you was involved during that time. So how you was managing maintaining the high GPA along with other extracurriculum activities? So tell me those 4 year of life after admitting to the BITS Pilani.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those 4 years, basically, when I joined BITS, I think those were the best years of my life. Now, many people say their school life was the best. For me, my college life was the best, honestly.
Okay.
So yeah. So in BITS, I think I found a lot of myself, because there was no pressure of school. Yet I knew how to maintain that freedom with some responsibility. So I was very keen in first picking up some knowledge of whatever I was doing. So whatever courses were there, I would attend class. Let's say that there were some classes where I did not pick up a few things. I would still attend those classes because I felt the whole classroom environment is very important to get knowledge and pick up things. If not the subject, you pick up experience. So I used to attend all my classes, and around that, I made sure I did some activities. So I'm very interested in music. So I decided to join the Treble Club.
Okay.
Then, yeah. So that was, I decided to participate in Sparks and, Jashan and stuff like that. So that was something which got me very hyped and pumped up on those days. And regarding a lot of the other activities, my projects and everything. So I think my main interest came a lot from Ram Karthikeyan sir, Dr. Ram Karthikeyan, because I consider him like a bit of a mentor. So till second year, basically. So first and second year, I just came to know him. So that was when my classes were just being taken by him. So I think some of the classes that were being taken by him was production techniques. So he used to be there for a lot of he used to be there for almost all the labs. So even if the subject was maybe not his, he would still come in for the lab. So I used to see him almost, I would say, for all the labs, and then I began to talk with him.
Yes.
So then I became involved with his subjects. So I started taking fluid power systems. Then I started doing a research paper under him. So slowly it went from, I would say, from nothing to, getting a bit more of a direction on what to do. So then I began to get an idea that I'm interested in moving into some form of mechatronics. And then I came to know that he's only taking the course. So he and Kalai Chelvi ma'am. So then I came to know her also. So from her side, I came to understand the control systems aspect of things. So then my knowledge began to slightly get broadened on both the mechanical and control system side. Then I realized I'm missing some aspect of computer science. So I decided to take the neural networks and fuzzy logic course.
Okay.
So slowly like this, I used to spend my time, and in the remaining time, so I used to keep some time which was completely not for work, because those times allow you to recharge and enjoy life as it is.
Yes.
So that time I used to do the music. I used to spend a lot of time with my friends outside. So we would, maybe take the cars and go somewhere, or, come back to college. But I used to tell them I want to be back before class. So that's something not all of them like about
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
But I used to tell them, please drive me back, but I have to be back for class. So they say, why can't you bunk a class? I said, no, I just want to attend it. So I used to do that. And so we used to go in between, we used to watch movies and then come back to college. And then I used to come and sit for tutorial in ETA. So I used to do both the things. And regarding the GPA part of it, so honestly, I have to be very honest with you, I was not interested in thinking about the GPA. It never once crossed my mind.
Hmm.
Initially,
Hmm.
when I came into college, I realized that there were a lot of people who were targeting high GPA. Uh, I was not targeting high GPA. I was just interested in the subjects I took. And I thought, if I'm not interested in what I'm doing, I won't study it.
Yes,
If I'm
true.
interested in what I'm doing,
Hmm.
I will put my best efforts into it.
Hmm.
And if the subject is not to my liking, I will develop an interest in the subject.
Hmm.
Because maybe there is something of my own perspective that I've not got right in
Hmm.
understanding the subject.
Exactly. Hmm.
Maybe there's something I can change about my thinking about the subject and apply it.
Hmm.
So an example is the subject quality control.
Hmm.
Quality control, I did not find the subject interesting, but I'd taken the elective.
Hmm.
Now, after I took the elective, I
Hmm.
realized I was
Hmm.
not enjoying it too much. I
Hmm.
mean, the topics were interesting, but it was not to my fancy.
Hmm.
So my research paper that I wrote was
Hmm.
based on quality control, but introducing a new technique for quality control.
Okay. Nice. Hmm.
Yeah. So this was when we came forward with the aspect of um, approaching quality control from a thermodynamic angle. So I linked it with a completely different way
Hmm.
of measuring reliability with
Hmm.
entropy of a process. So I
Hmm.
called it the reliability entropy hypothesis, and we
Hmm.
introduced it in our paper. So this was how
Hmm.
I got my interest in the subject
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
by linking it to something else.
Yeah, it happens, while if you are theoretically not understanding course as well, just go to the research point of view, try to find out some loopholes, develop some new
Exactly.
techniques, and it makes you more interesting. Oh, research paper is coming, why not, let's go to the depth and try to find out new approach. Yeah, and
Exactly. Exactly.
this is one of the very good approach, right? Nice, Akshay. And okay, so you hasn't focused more on GPA, but 9.88 GPA is really it's why high GPA. I think many of the semester you got a 10 out of 10. That's what in 9.88 is the GPA in till 4 years. So um, the many students who worked hard, I saw the many students what they do instead of attending the extra curriculum activities, they keep on studying just to increase their GPA. What is the message for them? How they should handle this kind of situation? Why the extra curriculum activities is as much as important like the GPA?
Okay, so basically, I think is that the point of learning anything new.
Hmm.
There is an association basically we have. I've seen it for a long time. I
Hmm.
also had that association.
Hmm.
So being in the Indian education system and the curriculum, a
Hmm.
lot of
Hmm.
what we learn is equated to how we apply it onto a paper, and that has been there for a very long time. Now,
Yes.
if somebody does not speak about it, it's still implied.
Hmm.
Okay, I have a test one, test two, quiz one, quiz two.
Hmm.
The question is, how is that subject applying to me and my life, and how can I change the society around me for better with that knowledge? I
Hmm.
think these questions are not being asked. The
True.
questions that are being asked is, how do I now do better in my test one so that my test two, in case the test two will be difficult, my test one mark should be enough to offset that.
Hmm.
I think
True.
there's a very big gap in
Hmm.
that thinking.
Hmm.
So I think when these subjects are taught, and I think it's the responsibility of both teachers and students here.
Ah, true.
Both, it becomes a responsibility of both teachers and students
Hmm.
that the the awards or the recognition that a student gets should not only come from how
Hmm.
well they're performing. It should
Hmm.
also come
Hmm.
from what kind of projects they're doing on the side and what initiatives they've taken.
Hmm.
Now, one thing what I saw about
Hmm.
in our department was that
Hmm.
we were encouraged, and especially by Dr. Sankaram, we were encouraged a lot to
Hmm.
do a lot of extracurricular things outside. So he would tell us, go and participate in this,
Hmm.
go and participate in this paper conference, or go and participate in Jashan or Sparks. And he
Yes.
used to actually give us full days off for
Yes.
that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, all the classes used to be cancelled, and he would tell the other professors to cancel all the classes.
Oh, super.
Now,
Mm,
yeah, now
mm,
what students decided to do with that freedom
mm.
is dependent on them. Now, some people would, just maybe go off, leave college, go for a movie. Some people would go off, go back home and
True.
sleep. Some
Mm,
people would actually go and attend sparks. But with this kind of thing, you actually get to appreciate uh, the other aspects of your education.
ah,
So you get to appreciate the extracurricular part of it, and then you come to get new ideas which you don't get in the classroom. So
mm-hmm.
if I'm sitting and thinking to myself,
Mm,
for example, if
mm,
I'm sitting in a free hour and thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm not too fond of the quality control subject, but
mm,
let me try a new approach
mm,
to maybe how
mm,
reliability quantification can be done in an industry
mm,
based on a
mm,
thermodynamic angle,
mm,
or let me try something which is totally different.
mm.
And then there comes the responsibility of the teacher also to be supportive, or of the
Ah,
professor to be supportive of what the student is doing. So that I give hands down credit to all the teachers I've met in BITS. They were
mm,
supportive of everything I was doing.
mm.
And Prashant sir, as you know, he
Yeah, yeah.
even gave me his own room to study for the compres.
Wow, super.
So this is something which I give credit to all of you, because this environment which came through has
Mm,
come through only with the support of the teachers. So I think they also understood that I liked thinking differently out of this model,
mm, mm.
and they supported me in the same thing. So
Yeah,
it's a two.
you just spoken about Prasant Nayak, really one of the dynamic persons. He was, putting a lot of efforts, and rest in peace to him. He died due to the car accident in Oman, and it was very, disaster for his family. So I've been with Prasant Nayak, I think for 5 years, one of my best friends. So I can see when I was, going to meet him in the mechanical engineering labs, he always used to involve with you and so many, students, always encouraging, even so lot of support he was, giving to students. One of the best guys, really. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can remember those days with Prasant Nayak. So okay, Akshay. And this is the bits life. Okay, and when you started targeting for your master's program, basically the student, they used to, be in the very dilemma stage that from which year I should start for master program, what are the universities need to be targeted, and tell me about that part as well, because this is a very very confusing part, uh, especially whenever students are reaching to third year, and whether they should go for working professional life, or they should, continue their educations. So how you go, remove this dilemma stage, and what are the active, things you did to, get rid from it? Yeah.
Okay. So I had no thoughts about my masters till third year,
Mm,
second semester.
mm.
And I got a lot of my thoughts about masters because I would see others talking about it. So that was the first
Yes.
thing which made me think that okay, I have to start thinking about something more. So I
Mm-hmm.
had no thoughts on that so far.
Mm,
The I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So
mm,
this was the situation.
mm, mm,
I knew that I was not sure should I work,
mm,
or
mm,
should I go for masters, because the students who were doing practice school too in the second semester,
mm,
they were at a bit of advantage, because a lot of the companies actually extended their stay and they got full time offers.
mm. Yes.
So this was a very good way of
Mm,
starting off work with the industry.
mm,
So I had this dilemma while choosing
mm,
my practice school between first and second semester,
mm.
because I was thinking, am I going to go for my masters or am I going to work?
Yeah. Mm, mm.
Then one day, what happened was I decided to meet an educational counselor, Miss Rima Menon used to come to BITS every Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think you must be knowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Mm,
So
mm,
I decided to go just randomly one day to
mm,
go and meet her just to get some ideas. I had not even started thinking about anything. I said,
mm,
let me go.
mm.
So when she saw my credentials, when she saw my CV and what I'd done, she said, "Your profile looks very good. You can consider the masters, but you know, you have to plan a bit in advance. You have to think a little quick now, from now." So she said, "Whatever you've done up till now is fine, but from now you should get some, just try and get some clarity on what you want to do."
Hmm.
So then I began to, on the side, I'd still not made a decision. I began to research colleges and I began to research contents of courses and research and everything. And then slowly I began to realize that, yeah, I feel I want to do my master's. I'm beginning to get the interest in wanting to do my master's and doing some research. Now, which colleges? Now that's a whole different thing. So when the colleges come, now when the thoughts about college come, a lot of the first thing that comes to mind is which are the top ranked colleges, and
Yes.
that is something where I've seen a lot of students actually go and check out the QS World rankings, and from there they start targeting the colleges.
True.
I think that is one way of doing it. I do not feel that that's the best way of doing it, but a lot of students do that. Now the thing is, when you're targeting colleges, I first feel that they should be targeted by subject. My subject and my area that I'm looking at, which college is offering a good uh, subject research combination, and based on that I will apply.
Yes.
Now that college may not be in the top 5, but how is my quality of subject research and education going to be there?
True.
If we decide to start from Stanford, MIT, go down, down, then like that one can be very disappointed, because it's not always that it's going to land up. And second is, everybody who feels they've not landed up in these colleges will feel bad about themselves. So I don't
True.
think that's worth it. So it depends on the quality of what you're getting. So for example, so I was thinking, now how do I start the application? So I knew University of Michigan is good for mechanical engineering, so I applied there. Then I think I applied to just 3 colleges in the US. I applied to Michigan, Purdue, and Florida Institute of Technology. So Florida Institute of Technology came in third. I first applied for Michigan and Purdue. So when I applied for Michigan and Purdue, Michigan offer came through eventually. Purdue had a lot of students in the program, so they were trying to transfer me to another program. So that I didn't comply with. So, and then the remaining colleges I applied to Canada. Now the reason why I chose Canada was that firstly, after the 2016 policies, and when this is what I felt when Trump got elected, now that was not a barrier, but I felt the country was a little less accepting to students from outside. So I felt that should not be an environment where I'm going into, where I don't know what can happen to my visa overnight.
Yes, true.
But my education is then my concern, not the visa.
Yes,
Once
yes.
I've gotten to a college, I should not be thinking about whether I'm going to be allowed to stay in the country or no.
Yeah,
So
true.
I was first very keen on going to the US. Then I decided, no, that's not the place that works for me. I don't like that kind of thing. Then I decided to look into Canada. So Canada, I applied to University of Toronto, Waterloo, UBC, not Alberta, these 3. I applied to these 3 and British Columbia.
Yeah.
And McGill.
Yes.
So 3 of these offers came through. McGill did not come through, but Toronto, UBC, and Waterloo came through. And then I decided to once again apply to NTU. So I just decided, as a one-off chance, let me try again. I was almost 100% sure I'm not going to get it. So I went with that attitude. But I was like, let me just apply there. And it took a lot of convincing from my mother as well. I told her, I said, I've been rejected once. I don't want to be rejected again. So she said, just give it a shot. Yeah, apply that. Then, interestingly, all these offers came through. So Toronto offer came through. UBC and Waterloo also came through. And NTU came through. Now, NTU I did not know came through until I spoke to one of my friends. So I asked him, where are you going for your master's? He said NTU. So I told him, how do you know? So he said, the email comes 1 week later, but you have to check your application status.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let me check. And there it said admission offered. So that's how I came to know.
Okay.
So we
Mm-hmm.
had got ready. I was ready to take University of Toronto because I thought they had a very well structured program. But
Mm-hmm.
then when Nanyang came through, I decided that no, I want to go to Nanyang. And there were a lot of reasons for that. A lot of my friends asked me why you're doing what you're doing. So there were a lot of questions. Um, One thing is that the okay, so the program in Nanyang also is structured very well for a School of ME. They've recently just come in the top 5 in the world.
Yes.
But more than that, I was very interested in the research. I managed to get do my master's thesis with Singapore Center for 3D Printing.
Mm.
So apparently, the research there is even ahead of MIT in 3D printing.
Mm.
So I decided that okay, that this is the place for me, and there were a lot of other factors.
Mm.
One was that the culture difference between Singapore and the UAE. So we've lived in Singapore before, my
Mm.
family and I.
Okay.
So I thought it's the adjustment process won't be that long.
Mm.
Singapore is just 8 hours away.
Yes.
I can because and I've always wanted to be close to family as well in some form,
Mm-hmm.
in case I'm required for anything now. So
Mm.
Singapore is very close by.
Mm.
The thing about Canada is it is still far away. I
Mm.
mean, it's a 16-hour flight, and for UBC in Canada, the offer I got was on the second campus, so that is 26 hours away.
Yes. Mm.
So I thought these factors and things actually play a role. They may
Mm.
not seem to be playing a role, but
Mm.
when you're actually ready, once you've got the offer and you realize that you're leaving for your masters, then these thoughts come into your head.
Yeah. True.
Otherwise, when people are discussing it in college, they're like, "Why are you worried? You got the offer. Why don't you take
Mm-hmm.
Michigan? Why don't you go there?" Okay, fine. So
Mm-hmm.
they also have a point, but it's different for different people. So for me, I felt that I want to see all these factors together
Mm.
and see which is the best place to go to based on all these factors and my own personality also.
Mm.
So I decided to hence take Nanyang, Singapore,
Mm.
and
Mm.
I really enjoyed the whole experience. And I got
Ah.
to basically whatever did not work out after school, I
Mm.
got to go there also and
I think
have those
the
experiences.
Akshay, mechanical engineering you decided, and even NTU you decided. The things what you are doing, I think the 99% people definitely they will stop, don't go in this line, and but you decided to go in that track only.
Yeah.
What I'm guessing, I think your parents might be also told during that time, no, go for computer science only, why you are going for mechanical. So how exactly this determination and the solid, you can say, thought you grown up, and no, I wanted to do this one only. I think very rare people, especially in the teenage, if you are in a school, decisions taking capacity is not that much strong. Of course, what the parents say, no, go for this line. Only we used to decide that path only. So tell me, when you started getting confidence on you, the things what I am doing, this is the correct. What others are saying, no, I should not follow that. Tell me that.
I think that started coming towards the later stages of school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, a lot of it, I would say, started from school itself because I would say in my 8th, 9th, and 10th. So I would say these 3 years basically, I began to realize that my interests, some of them were very different from the other students. And there were a bunch of like 4 to 5 students, I would say, who were singling me out of activities, and I used to get that a lot at that point of time. So a lot of my wanting to do stuff myself came from there. I used to first feel that, oh, why is it that I'm not able to blend in with those kind of people? Uh, I used to feel it was a limitation on my part. I used to initially feel that, oh, why is it, whatever I'm doing, it's not working with them.
True.
Then I slowly began to feel that maybe I'm on the correct path. So I decided to slowly start moving as to what I was interested in. And I used to feel that if somebody is with you or against you, that is their opinion. You have to continue what you're doing and be the best person to around you. as much as you can be. You have to be the best version of yourself to people around you, and then it depends on whether they want to accept you or not.
That is true. That
So
is true.
that's when I decided that the consequences of my decisions are my own. That
Mm.
is different from what others think of my decisions. It's not going to affect them. They
Yes.
will all sit on the side and tell me that this is what you should do, what you should not do. But
Mm.
eventually the decision applies to me.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Mm.
once you get that capability, then you stop fearing the failure part of it.
True. That is
So
true.
that started happening.
Mm.
And then I did not care about whether this was a right and wrong decision anymore. I thought that this decision is good for me, and
Mm.
that's what I'm going to do. Maybe
Mm.
it may take me in a slightly different direction. Okay, I will change track and
Mm.
come. I'll
Mm.
learn something else out.
Mm.
So, for example, when I finished with Nanyang and I came back, so for 1 year I did not have a
Mm.
full time job.
Mm.
So, and last year was COVID. Basically, there was COVID situation was happening. So the thing is, if you don't have something to do, if you're not occupying yourself with something, you can actually go crazy. I mean, unless you make sure you're doing something,
Mm.
that something can be anything. It
Mm.
could
Yes,
be
sir.
cleaning the dishes, it could be washing the house, it could be doing anything.
Mm.
If you make sure that you're doing something, you'll be fine. Then I began to think that why not I use this time to learn something that I don't know? So I started moving into data science
Mm.
on the side.
Yeah, I saw yours. You have been certified IBM data science. Then so many tools you learned. Google Ed Search certification, IBM Python certification, Astrolab. So many certification you done. So yeah, tell me that part. Yes, it's very interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah,
how?
so I started getting into data science.
Mm.
So I started doing the IBM certifications and I became very interested in that.
Mm.
Then I decided,
Mm.
there's a good friend of mine in BITS. You must be knowing her, Fareen Anwar. So she
Yeah.
went into, yeah, so I think she was in computer science.
Mm.
So she was in Middlesex University, and I saw her LinkedIn post on a hackathon that
Mm.
was taking place.
Mm.
And I have never done a hackathon.
Mm.
And I used to feel to do a hackathon, I need to have massive amount of coding skills. So this was my thoughts.
Mhm.
And if you mention the word hackathon to anybody outside,
Mm.
the first thing they think is this guy must be a genius at code, which is not true.
True.
Because the word hackathon makes you feel that, oh, I must be sitting 24 hours in front of the laptop. That's not true.
Mm.
So what happened was this was my first ever hackathon. So I thought
Mm.
I want to just take part in it. Whether it's turns out good or not good,
Mm.
let me just try it out. This was
Yeah.
my first hackathon, and
Mm.
we had an option
Mm.
whether to take a team of two or to be completely single. I
Mm.
took the single option.
Okay.
I took the single option, and I thought now either I'm going to completely mess this up
Mm.
or they'll figure out something.
Mm.
It's one of the two. There's nothing in between.
Mm.
And that too, we had to deal with a big data set. So here I was learning what data was about.
Mm.
Here they were talking about big data. So I was like, okay, fine. We are on different levels here. Completely different.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
So when I was doing, and I had learned Python for just 1 week before
okay.
accepting this,
So I already you
right?
did any programming course in school? Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Then I think it's easy. Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Mm.
I had done C++ for 2 years,
Mm.
but then I had to reorient myself with this whole syntax. So
Mm.
I decided now that Python, okay, I've learned only 1 week of Python, and here they're doing, whatnot. They're using various tools I've not heard of, like Rapid Miner, and I was like, what's that? There's so many things that were there.
Mm.
Then I thought, okay, let's just go simple and easy with this.
Mm.
Uh, you know,
Mhm.
starting from scratch. I
Yes.
will use Python. There's
Mm.
nothing else I'm going to use. I'm just going to use Python.
Mm.
I'm not going to use any of these more sophisticated or uh, so I had a little bit of I had just drag and dropped a bit with Tableau, but I
Mm.
was like, I want to use Python. Let me
Mm.
just use Python.
Mm.
In the next 2 weeks,
Mm.
from that 1 week of learning Python,
Mm.
I came to I learned all about data frames. I learned all about a lot of things about visualizations, and
Yes.
I was doing some practice on. I did not know any concepts as such about machine learning,
Hmm.
but I was doing some practice, and from the IBM data science course, when they offered an example, I
Hmm.
used that example and I
Hmm.
used this data set. I changed some parameters. I understood how it's working,
Hmm.
and I reverse engineered that into Python. So I just put all of it there,
Hmm.
and I used it on the same data set, and I got the results that I wanted.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I learned whatever was, I did not learn. I covered it up in 2 to 3 weeks,
Hmm.
and then I made a report out of it. I learned that there was something called confusion matrix
Hmm.
of the training and the test set. I did
Hmm.
not know what confusion matrix was, so I
Hmm.
wanted to show that also.
Hmm.
So I took that code also. I ran it there. I
Hmm.
got some results,
Hmm.
tuned it a little bit, and I wrote a full report on it.
Hmm.
And I think in 2 to 3 weeks, I was informed that I made it to the top 11 of 180 teams.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I just decided I'll try it out. Let me
Uh-huh.
try it out. Maximum what will happen, I'll
Hmm.
get a participation certificate.
Hmm.
Good enough.
Hmm. So this given one
So
confidence that I can win the hackathon as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
that was uh, it gave a lot of confidence. And my next internship that came because of that was because of this hackathon.
Hmm.
I got an internship with Jacket Benkiser.
Hmm.
So they are the manufacturers of Dettol, Harpic,
Hmm.
Vanish, Finish, all these brands.
Hmm.
So I got an internship with them in their information systems division.
See, where the computer science cannot be reached, you reach
Yeah,
there and started. Okay, huh?
yeah,
So
yeah.
what did you did during that phase of intensive? Yeah.
I had to make a sort of anomaly detector. So, for
Hmm.
example, they were working in Microsoft Power BI, which I had no knowledge of.
Mm-hmm.
So I started learning that. Then within a week to 2 weeks, I got some basic hands-on on understanding of that.
Hmm.
Then I took all those data sets, I brought them into Python,
Hmm.
and basically we were dealing with easily around, I'd say around 70 million rows of data, because
Hmm.
every day that used to refresh and update. And
Yeah.
it was initially daunting because it
Hmm.
was a very new area for me.
Hmm.
And then this data I had to bring some of it into Python.
Hmm.
And so when I brought some of it into Python, I had to basically create a lot of filters in Python. So if I enter the data, it should tell me what is the difference between last year and this year, in which product has the sales dropped,
Hmm.
in comparison between March of 2020 to March of 2019, in which product category, in which segment, in which country, in which region, all these things.
Okay. So
So it should
class,
tell me.
I think classification, clustering, then prediction, forecasting, everything you did.
This was more on the anomaly side I had to
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
basically, I was told by my supervisor that if the sales drops by 5%
Hmm.
or 10%, please figure out which country, which region, which SKU as in which product number, which
Hmm.
kind of product specification, which country, which region, which area, which code, which it has to filter out and tell me where this is happening.
Hmm.
So I made that
Hmm.
preliminary thing for them, and I had
Hmm.
no idea on how to go about it whatsoever. But
Hmm.
I decided to try it out, and
Hmm.
a lot of the management there was hands-on. So basically, the induction that I got was more like, okay, what you have to do, and the
Hmm.
rest of it you have to do.
Hmm. True.
So
True.
this is what I had to do
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
my.
Nice, man. You,
Yeah.
I think you are the all-rounder. Huh?
No, no, that's not good.
So and so many projects you did, like 5 DOF robot trajectory, and now you told about your data science track. What about the robotics part? What what did you gone through in your robotics area? What are the, tell me some part, that part, because nowadays robotics is also going to be one of the top top research area. Yeah.
True. So in robotics, basically, a lot of my interest came from Ramkesar again.
Hmm.
So basically, I was more interested in the mechanical side of it. So
Hmm.
things like degrees of freedom, kinematics, dynamics, these kind of things, the mechanical aspects of it, because robotics has the electrical part of it and the software part of it also. So those are very different areas, and you need a combination of all of them to actually do a project. So with me, I had two others. I had Aditya Saraya from electrical, and I had Sagar Jagtap with me. So he was he had a lot of programming knowledge, and how to use ROS and things like that, and MATLAB. So I was learning MATLAB more and more that time. I had not that much knowledge on it, but I started learning it. And so basically together, so I had the knowledge in the mechanical side of things, and how to simulate that in maybe MATLAB, simulate the concept in MATLAB. So with all us three working together, we did this project, where, you know, so basically you have a camera which is attached to the robot, or this was actually attached to the ceiling. And this camera, what it does is you draw something on the whiteboard, and it takes a snapshot of of the image, and the robot is supposed to draw that same thing by itself. So how you basically do it is that I had to first make a training set. So I was marking all the dots on the board, and these dots basically I was recording all the coordinates from the robot's frame of reference, which was there in the teach pendant. And Aditya Sarai was recording the coordinates of where the of what the coordinates were in the camera's frame of reference. So the camera has its own frame coordinate system, and this robot has its own coordinate system. And then you have your training set with you, because this can be applied through a neural network black box. So you have the robot system as input, and your camera system, or rather the camera system as input, and your robot's coordinate frame as output. So slowly after that, now the part regarding the image processing was all done by Aditya Sarai, because he had that knowledge in image processing. So you extract that and binarize it, and get all the points out of it. So Sagar and I were working on the rest of the things, on bringing it to the mechanical side and applying it here. So first what we did was we decided to do it for the line, right? Then there was another person called Srinath. You must be knowing him, Srinath Rao. He was working on drawing things with the robot, basically. So one day I was just sitting at the robot, and I decided to convert all his coordinate systems to whatever he had put there. I just put a loop over there. I put a for loop.
Okay.
And when I put a for loop, I decided to parameterize all those points and put it in the form of an equation. So I got the robot to essentially draw any kind of equation. And then from there, slowly we started this project. So we went one step at a time like this, and then we decided, okay, let's train the robot to recognize an image. And this whole project was supervised by Kalai Chalvi ma'am and Ram Kesa. So slowly, that's how we moved.
Nice.
So we had knowledge in different areas and brought it.
And you have been awarded Director Bronze Medal in BITS Pilani, and I think you was your batch topper, huh? So I think 9.88 equivalent to 9.9 GPA in the BITS is very, very tough, as you have the relative grading system, and you have to be the one of the top highest mark achiever in every subject. Then you are going to get the A grade, and it's really so. Who was your competitor in classroom? You was competing to yourself only. Yeah, other competitors were also there.
I used to compete with myself only, because the thing is, I'm not going to be I don't want to get too much into the details, but yes, you do have a lot of people who are who also think about I used to see people when they were when the mark sheets used to come in. What happened was there used to be a huge queue, and a lot of students would go and open all the pages and check. After they've checked this, they used to go through the remaining pages also. So I used to check mine and just leave, or for some subjects I did not even check mine. Like fluid mechanics, I remember I forgot to check my answer, my mark sheet. So I did not know my marks till somebody else told me, and I said, okay, I just did the best I could in that exam, and I'm done.
No, it
So
happens, what happens, especially in the college life, few students having the mentality, let's see the other answer sheet, what answer he has given, and why
yeah,
he
yeah,
got highest
exactly.
marks. So they always having the
That's
doubt
true.
in their own answers. Yeah.
There are a lot of things. There's some students who may like. I've seen people who sometimes they get helped by somebody before the test and they end up getting more marks. So you do have things which,
Yeah. That is true. So they used to
yeah,
download the 5 year last 5 year questions. Only just go through those answers and get the.
yeah,
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. So that was your. I think you competed with yourself only. This is the
yeah,
and this is the reason why you was able to give a lot of time for other activities as well, because you are not bothering about other marks, other careers, other things. And this is one of the best beautiful part of life. You should enjoy your life with with you only, instead of thinking about others, or where this
yeah,
person will go, or I have to be bit far away than him. This happens especially in the college life, especially in the friends group. Friends
that's
group.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this is what. And you've been received, I think, in higher secondary also, vice president, editorial board, so many, I think, activities you've been involved in your school life as well. So how you was managing, especially in the schools, Akshay? And every parents pressurizing kids, no, please keep studying about physics, chemistry, math. How so many
Yeah.
school pressure, assignment pressure, project pressure, teachers pressure, parents pressure, friends
Yeah.
pressure. So how you was finding the time in your school till board exams? If you, yeah.
So, okay, in school I was a little different from what
Mm,
I was in BITS. In
mm,
school, I used to spend most of my time on studies.
mm,
I'll be honest about that. When I
mm,
was in 11th, especially 11th and 12th, I used to spend most of my time on studies.
mm,
The remaining time, I decided I'm going to apply to be a prefect.
mm,
So at least I can, when there are things like assemblies and all, I can at least monitor or, get out of the class a bit on that front.
mm,
So the thing is, in school, I was not really good at sports. I was
mm,
not really, I was not, table tennis and swimming I was good at, but I was
mm,
not good at football or, cricket or things like that. So
yeah.
I used to stay away a little bit from
Mm,
there.
mm,
But then after that, I was like, I have to do some other activities. So
mm,
I always liked writing in some form.
mm,
So whether it's writing a report, whether it's writing, okay, reports are not that interesting, but
mm,
writing a story, writing a paper, writing anything,
mm,
giving it some flair or giving it some interesting angle to it,
mm,
that kind of thing. I was always interested in design, presentation, something like that.
mm,
So I
mm,
thought,
mm.
why don't I be part of the editorial board? Because
Okay.
if people want, and even in BITS, I was part of the editorial board because in
Mm,
BITS, I was writing articles for the editorial board.
yeah.
And then I became a mentor also in the editorial board for the next batch.
Mm-hmm.
I was mentoring someone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how. So I decided, let me at least
Mm,
do some writing.
mm,
Writing can be about anything. It can be about a news event or, okay, this competition happened with Ashley or this competition, or, Jashan was held in BITS or, something. So that takes your mind off the
mm,
remaining stuff and it
mm.
gives you a fresh outlook to things. And
Yeah.
when I went for my masters, I think
Mm,
that change came in even more
mm,
because in masters, so in BITS, I used to still sit in the front row.
mm, mhm,
Genuinely.
mm.
When I went for masters, I used to sit in the last row. So things changed. A lot of things changed.
uh,
And in masters, I had joined some 3 or 4 groups. So I
mm,
was part of the karate group. So I
mm,
used to go for karate I think it was every Wednesday.
mm,
I joined the music club.
mm,
I joined a second music piano club
mm,
exclusively. So I had a band and
uh,
I was there in the piano club also.
mm,
And I was director of welfare in the student committee for mechanical and aerospace engineering.
mm,
So I the whole orientation event was organized by me
Mm-hmm.
and my team. So we
Mm.
organized the games and we organized all the students coming and uh, you know meeting us, meeting the teachers.
Mm.
Then I remember I had to do budgeting. Budgeting was something I'd never done before.
Yeah.
So I decided to. I was like, how am I going to budget? So what I did was when we had a meeting, I
Mm.
asked for extra money.
Mm.
I just asked for extra money. I asked for 400 Singapore dollars,
Mm.
that close to, I would say, 900 dirhams,
Mm.
900 to 90.
Mm-hmm.
I just asked for that much,
Mm.
and I just for emergency purpose, and I used less than 300.
Mm.
So I learned that okay, I will ask for more, showing that I need this much. I will
Mm.
use less.
Mm.
So I went and saw the offers available. So I went to one supermarket. I was like, okay, these are the pens and pads. I want to give pens and pads to every student, at
Mm.
least.
Mm-hmm.
Something cute and small.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, how much will this whole bulk cost? Can I
Mm.
try and get it for a deal if I get an offer
Mm-hmm.
instead of charging every single
Mm.
notebook?
Mm.
So I took somebody else with me. So like that, these things. Then I had to make a document
Mm.
which showed how my expenses were going to go, how
Mm.
my expenses would be budgeted. So I had
Mm.
to send that to
Mm.
the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering
Mm.
for review. So I had to send it for two stages of review because
Okay.
in Singapore, they're very strict about money matters, and also I had to send it through that,
Mm.
and then they approved it. So I was like, okay, fine. Now I'm going to use less of this amount,
Mm.
and then I returned it back to the school. So it
Okay.
gave a good impression also. And at
Mm.
the same time, I was doing my thesis.
Mm. So
So
parallelly both, leading the events, leading the people. I think Akshay, you would have joined, like Harvard Business School, you would have gone for management program, leading, where,
I hope so.
yeah. But anyway, you was more interesting in your core branch, so that's your decision. And of course, there is a bright
Yeah,
futures because, working on your interest area and, going through your own decisions. And as for your GPA, I definitely, if you would have tried Harvard and like what top business school, easily you would have received it. Okay, but that's your choice. So I hope you will achieve one of the highest position in your area. And my best
thank you.
wishes with you. Yeah. So the
Thank you.
Akshay, lot of informations are there. Knowing about you, but we have the time constraint, and so I think,
Sure.
yeah, so many valuable information you've shared with us, and this my objective is to bringing students, alumni like you, who can share that their thoughts, how they gone through their school's life, then why they decided for any particular branch, and why they went for masters. So this is the reasons why I started this KramfoTech, you can say, podcast. And it
Mm.
is going to be benefit to many, because the uh, going for higher study, selecting the streams, it is one of the more difficult situations for parents as well as for student as well. Hmm. So
Yeah.
and I'm really would like to thanks a lot to you to in
No
single
worries.
request, promptly you responded, and given you given time to, sir, on this day I'm available, let's have a word
No,
on
no,
this.
no.
So
That's the least I could do. I mean, I'm very grateful to all of you. In one of the videos that I had shot for BITS from the NTU campus,
yeah, I saw.
I was asked to give feedback.
Mm.
So it mentioned that basically like you're all like family to me because a lot of I've got a lot of support from you, and I've made a lot of friends with the faculty in BITS. So
True.
whenever I come back to college, I never feel like it's like a different world. It's
Mhm.
almost like part of me will always be attached to BITS. So if there's anything, I'll always be there.
No, that is there in the BITS Pilani. Acha, even when you are reaching to fourth year, yeah, around third year or fourth year, faculty and students looks like friends. It doesn't look like a student and teacher relationship, and it's there. This kind of environment is there. It's not in other colleges. In other colleges, faculty used to keep distance from students. No, let's be in touch in the classroom only. Once you get out from class, they will not identify. But it's there here, and it's really, this is what one of the 60+ year of college, maintaining
That's
their
true.
legacy, and it's first choice for students. So this is the reason. Yeah. So thanks, dear. Thanks for sharing your views.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. Anytime.
So
Look forward to meeting you soon.
sure.
We'll be in touch.
Yeah. Sure. So
Yeah.
let's end up now. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Sir.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.